Hi, this is Doug Hardesty from the Carolinas GHIN Support Department at the Carolinas Golf Association. This video is dedicated to trying to show you how the GHIN mobile apps work for the new GHIN 2020 software. We're going to explore today how to set up and install the GHIN apps, as well as show you how you can use some of the features that are built into the new app. So to start with, we want to go through the steps to download and install each app successfully. If we start with the Android app, you'll see here the steps that are necessary to use to install and log into the Android app. What we want to do is, if you want to read this a little longer, just pause your video and then you can read through this. But the steps are the following. Uninstall the old app. Then please shut off your phone and reboot your phone. Now you can go to your Play Store and install the new app. And then these two things, steps 5 and 6, are key. First off, key in your GHIN number, but do not use any leading zeros. There are no longer any leading zeros in any GHIN numbers. So if you had a 0 at the beginning of your GHIN number, it no longer works, and you don't have to worry about it. So key in your GHIN number without any leading zeros. And number 6, make sure you type your name in one letter at a time, and do not use the built-in Android prompt to supply your name. You've got to type your name one letter at a time. Many times if you use the prompt to put your name in, it adds an extra space after your name, and the app's not going to log you in if that space is there. So this has been very successful for everybody. If you follow all 6 steps, you should be able to launch and use the mobile app. Good news is, once you are logged into the mobile app, then it'll keep your login information, and you only will have to launch the app in order to get in. You won't have to log in every time. If you're using an iPhone, the iPhone seems to be a little bit simpler, but in order to install for the iPhone, you're going to uninstall the app. You're going to shut off your phone again, reboot a phone, and now install the new app from the App Store. That typically works just fine. There is one little glitch or current flaw in the iPhone app. There is a current flaw when posting after 7 p.m. local time. The iPhone is picking up international time code instead of local time. So if you post after 7 p.m., the date will automatically change to the next day, possibly without you noticing. So please manually change the date back to today's date before you post if you notice this. GHIN will be fixing the problem in the near future. So let's get on with a demonstration. I'm going to bring over my live phone. This is a version of my phone that you're seeing on the screen right now. Take a second to come in. Now I've already logged in with my name and GHIN number and name. And so you see this is the opening page on the app. And what you're going to see here is that it gives me an indication from the Carolinas Golf Association. I'm a member there, my name, the country club that I belong to, my handicap index for the day, and my low HI. And I get 2 prominent buttons right off the bat, because primarily the 2 most important things I'm going to do when I log in is post a score, or perhaps use the course handicap calculator to find out what my handicap's going to be today when I might play around later this morning. So let's look at first post a score. When I click on post a score or tap it with my finger, I get 3 options here. I get an option to post hole-by-hole scores, if that's available at your club. Your club is trying to set up the course so that you could post as an option hole-by-hole. You're also going to be able to post hole-by-hole with stats if it's available at your club, or you're always going to be able to post total score. So let's start with total score. Total score, we click on total score, and what it's going to do is bring up a choice for you to try to pick the course you played. Okay, so it'll take a second. And normally the GPS is going to work. It'll be turned on a little bit later, but this nearby is going to come up, and it's going to show you all the nearby courses based on the GPS location of where you're standing. So that'll make it simple and easy for you to pick a course if you're not playing perhaps your normal regular course. Otherwise, you can pick off this list over here, the recently played list, and you will get a list of all the courses you most recently played. Or if your course you're playing is not in the GPS and is not in the list, then your course can go up here to the top and type in the name of the course you're looking for. The nice thing about the new system is you do not have to know exactly how the name is spelled. If I'm looking for Whispering Pines or Country Club of Whispering Pines, I can just type in the word Whispering. I don't need to know if it's CC of or Country Club, comma, Whispering Pines or Whispering Pines, comma, Country Club of. I can just type in the Whispering, and I'm going to get all the whispering pines in the country, and therefore I can then choose the course that I actually did play. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go back to my home and choose a recent course. So we're going to post total score again. I'm going to choose one of my most recent courses. Let's say I played Pinehurst number 7 and I want to post my score. So it chooses Pinehurst number 7 here. I get a choice of 18 or 9 holes. In the middle section here, I get to choose which tees I played today. So let's say I played the white tees. I can choose home, away, or competition. Home and away are pretty self-evident. You've seen those in the past. Competition is a way for me to denote those scores that I want to count when perhaps I played serious golf or I played in a tournament or a competition. It is not a direct replacement for T-scores. There is no such thing as a tournament score anymore. It does not exist in the new system. And a competition marker, if I make a score competition, it doesn't affect my handicap index whatsoever. It's just a denotation that those scores were played in, let's say, serious golf or a competition. You can choose when you want to create a competition score for yourself. Your club has been recommended to your club by us that any club that runs a formal event should designate that round as a competition score so that their handicap committee might be able to look at and filter your scores to see how you do when perhaps the chips are on the table or you're playing serious golf, as opposed to when you might be or I might be playing casual golf with my friends or relatives or buddies. The next thing up would be to choose the date that you played, and then I just scroll down a little bit and I get an opportunity to key in my front 9, my back 9, or I can go straight to total score. Now keep in mind when I go ahead and post my total score here that it has to be your adjusted gross score, just like it says here, your adjusted gross score. So what that means is that you have to make sure that you're not taking a score on any hole that's too large. You are restricted to only net double bogey for any hole score in the competition. So net double bogey is the maximum score you can take per hole on any hole in your score for handicap purposes. So during the course of calculating your adjusted gross handicap, you've got to take a look at net double par. Now, net double par for you is considered the par of the hole plus 2 strokes plus any strokes you're allowed in that hole due to your handicap, your course handicap. So in my case, I'm generally looking for 7s, 8s, and 9s. I can't always take a 7. I can't always take an 8, depending on what the par of the hole is. The ESC rules that were the old rules are no longer applicable. Okay, there is no such thing anymore as I can only take a 7 or I can only take an 8. You've got to determine hole by hole whether or not you're allowed to take that score. Now, that isn't going to be awfully too difficult. A lot of people's indexes stay somewhat the same. So for myself, for instance, with my index, I know that I don't have to worry about 4 or 5s or 6s. I just have to look at my scores of 7, 8, and 9 and see whether or not they're eligible. 7s are never going to be eligible for me on par 3s, but 7s will be eligible for me on par 5s. So you'll get used to the system little by little so that you can properly record your adjusted gross score into this column. So once I've got my adjusted gross score, I post the score, and the phone will come right back and tell me it's been posted. It's an 85. My differential is 11.6. I played on Pinehurst number 7, and it gives me a quick graph of my most recent scores. 85 today, 99 yesterday, yesterday an 85, etc., etc. So I can go home now, and I can go back to post a score. And let me show you what happens if we want to post a score hole by hole. So if I click on hole by hole, I get the same choice I got before. I can find a nearby course when it's turned on, or I can find a recently played course, or I can search for any course in the country. So I'm going to look at recently played, and let's say that I'm going to now post a score for Pinehurst number 8. I'm on Pinehurst number 8. I'm going to do 18 holes. Let's say at Pinehurst number 8 I played the blue tees today. So let's click on blue, say done. It's home, away, or competition. Let's suggest I had this as a competition score. And then I played it today, so I'm going to scroll down and enter my hole-by-hole scores. Now what I get is a grid where I can put in my gross score here, and the system will automatically adjust the score for net double bogey for me as I go along. So I have the ability now to just go ahead and start putting in my scores as fast as I want to key them from my scorecard. And I can do all 18 all in a row. And what you're going to see is that I scored a gross 101 today, so that's what I shot, but the system is calculating net double bogey for me because it knows what tee I'm on, it knows what my course handicap is, so it's doing net double bogey for me. And if I were to scroll back, you're going to see that when I took this 8 on hole number 12, it only allowed me to record a 6. So if you're confused at all by net double bogey, all you really have to do is post hole by hole at your course, and the system will take care of it for you. It'll give you an accurate handicap index and an accurate score. Once you've got all your scores in, you can go ahead and post the score, and once again, two things are going to happen. One, it's going to confirm that your score was put in. There's my adjusted score 95. With a new differential of 19.6 for the day. But when you post hole by hole, you also get a scoring summary, what we call a scoring donut. And it gives you some statistical information about how you did for the day. 33% of my scores were double bogeys. Not very good. 6% of my scores were pars. 28% of my scores were par or better. So it just gives you a little bit of statistics that you can use to try to help analyze your own game. If I go back to post a score again, I do have one other option. I can post hole by hole with stats. For those that you want to keep track of number of putts, greens and regulations, and driving accuracy, you can also post hole by hole with statistics. And now what it's going to do is I just have to pick the course I played. Let's say I played Pinehurst number 3. 18 holes. I played from the white tees today. It's a home score, and I go down and post hole by hole with stats. And now what it's going to do is offer me one hole at a time. It indicates what the natural par is for that hole, but I can choose any score I want. So let's say I bogeyed the first hole with a 5. I had 2 putts. I made the green in regulation, but I missed the fairway, and I missed the fairway left. And then I would go to my next hole. Next hole I hit par. I had 1 putt, and I missed the green in regulation. But I was able to get down in 1 putt when I chipped on. Next hole, par 4, I bogeyed it, I 3-putted, I hit the green in regulation, I hit the fairway in regulation, etc., etc. So when I do this, I'm able to record my stats as I record my score. So you have that option to go ahead and be able to post your score using any one of the 3 techniques. You can do total score, where you adjust for net double bogey. You can post hole by hole, where you'll get some statistics and the system will adjust for net double bogey. Or if you really want to keep track of your stats, you're going to be able to post hole by hole with statistics and not only see your scoring summary, but you'll also see your statistics summary when you're done in graph form. Okay. In addition to that, all the rest of the tools for the mobile app are down below here. So if I were to go home again, you'll see that all your tools are down below, other tools. And if I click on more, you're going to see that I can go to the course handicap calculator in the menu item. I can look at my handicap history. I can also look at my handicap card. This is the one place you'll be able to find your GHIN handicap card. You can see it pops up with your most recent 20 scores and tells you how many scores you scored in 2020. If we go back, I can look at my GHIN memberships. I can look at a summary of World Handicapping changes, how to contact us, about privacy terms, and the ability to log out if I wanted to log out of the app. If you log out, next time you launch the app, you would have to log in again with your GHIN number and your last name to get back in. We go back home again, I do want to show you how Golfer Lookup works as well as the course handicap calculator. One of the nice features of the mobile app is that you can look up the handicap index for any golfer in your club and or anywhere in the GHIN system. One of the things that pops up immediately is a following list. You have the ability to follow any golfer you want, and they'll be on your personal follow list. So in this particular case, I've got Andy, Brian, Daryl, James, Jason Peters and Gene Peters on my following list. These are people presumably maybe that I play golf with on a regular basis. And so I want to follow their handicap indexes so I can make them available to me at any time. If I want to add people to this, I just simply need to go find a person. So if I wanted to add Smith from my club, I would just go ahead and find all the Smiths out there, which is going to be a lot. Let's say I want to play with Al Smith. If I want to add him to my following list, once I find my golfer, I just simply click on the star to turn it blue. And if I go back to my following golfer lookup list, you're going to see that now Al Smith is on my list. If I wanted to drop Brian Gritchley from my group and he's not going to play with us anymore, I just simply have to click the blue star and turn it to clear, and he is gone. So now I can control my list as much as I want. This list is not restricted. You can put as many people in that list as you want. So if you want to follow 20 or 25 golfers because you run a small golf group, you can certainly put all those people in your following list so that they're available for you easily when it comes time to go to the course handicap calculator. So let's do that. Let's go back home and let's go straight into the course handicap calculator. If I go here, this is the opportunity for me to find out what everybody's course handicap is going to be today on the course we're going to play today. So once again, I can go find my course. Let's say we're all going to play Pioneers number 7 today. So there's number 7, and I am put on the course right away. And I can pick the tee that I'm going to play. So let's say I'm going to play the white tees on course number 7 for myself. But down below I have a button that allows me to select my playing partners for today. Again, this is unlimited. You could put 3 other players for your foursome, or you could put 7 other players for 2 foursomes, or you could put 25 people in here. It does not matter. But if I go to hit select golfers, what it's going to do first is offer me my following list. These are the people that I play with most often. So let's say that Al is going to play with us today. And then I scroll down and James Cook is going to play with me today. And then we're going to have Jean play with us as well, if I can find her here. And we're going to add those 2 golfers to my foursome. So now there's Al. He's been put on the white tees. I'm going to switch him. He would prefer to play the blue tees. And James woke up with a little bit of a cold today and doesn't feel that well. He's going to play the shorter tees, the green tees. So now, when we go out to play now in our particular group, our 3 of us, I'm going to play the white tees and I will get 16 strokes today. Al will play the blue tees. He'll get 25 shots. And James is going to play the green tees. He's going to get a 21. These pars are all equal on this course, so therefore there's no adjustment necessary. I play to a 16, Al to a 25, James to a 21. It's as simple as that as far as figuring out what the course handicap is for each player. And now we mark up our scorecards, tee off, and we're ready to go, all through the convenience of the mobile app. If I want to eliminate somebody from my playing group, all I have to do is in the Android app, I will take my finger and hold down the Al Smith, and you can see that a garbage can delete button shows up at the top. I delete that, and Al is gone. If you're on the iPhone, you're just simply going to take your finger and swipe to the left, and a little red box will show up here that will allow you to delete the player. So you can add and subtract players to and from your group just simply by deleting them if they're not playing today, or selecting them if you want them to play. If you're going to select them, they're going to come out of your following list first. But if I want to go find my buddy Dwight Pike, I can hit Pike. And we're going to go down until I find my buddy Dwight from Pine Wild. Let's make it here. And I'm going to add here to our group. I'm going to add Dwight. He's going to take the spot, and we're going to put him on the blue tees today and say done. So now Dwight will play to an 11. I'll still have my 16 shots, and James will still be playing 21 from the green tees. So that's a quick review of how the mobile app works. It's fairly intuitive. It does give you a lot of information about your record, as well as being able to calculate handicaps and things like that. When you want to see some of your statistics, this is the last item. Right down here at the bottom, you can see stats. Click on stats. and it's immediately going to come up, and the first thing it's going to show you is your 20 most recent scores. Okay, so you can just scroll down through your 20 most recent scores to see what you've played most recently. But if you click on this pull down box here, you're also going to be able to display your scores as all scores in 2020, all scores for the past 12 months, just your revision scores. Remember, your revision scores are the scores that are being used to calculate your handicap index. They may or may not include today's score because today's score hasn't been revised yet. And you also get an option to look at just your competitive scores. So if I've marked competition scores for myself and I just want to see how I'm doing when I play serious golf, well then here's a list of just all C scores. So I get a look-see of how I'm doing when I play in competitions or serious golf. You also have the ability to look at your stats. When I look at my stats, I'm going to look at a combination of all the hole-by-hole statistics. In this case, I have 3 rounds worth of hole-by-hole statistics, and that would give me an idea of how I'm doing on a regular basis. And if I scroll down, this will give me my advanced stats, which are my greens and regulation, putts, and fairways. And right now I only have stats based on 1 round, but if I had been doing this on an ongoing basis, this would summarize all my stats. I did this as an experiment about a month ago and put in about 7 or 8 rounds and found for myself that when I missed the fairway, unbeknownst to me, I missed my fairway 72% of the time to the left. I had no idea that I missed left that often, so that's clearly something I can work on as I start to practice and play more golf. So once again, you have the Android app with instructions on how to do that, and we have the iPhone app. They both look similar. They both operate very much the same. Thank you very much for paying attention to the video today, and I hope it was informative. If you have any questions at all about how to use the mobile app or how to get on the mobile app, please contact the professional staff at your home club. They have the information and can get you the information that you need in order to use the mobile app. Thanks an awful lot, and I hope to see you on the course.